What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're back on the Camaro. I know it's been a bit, but I've had some issues with it, and I just kind of parked it and kind of gave up on it, and I kind of gave up on the video thing, but I'm back, and we're going to stay back this time. But enough about me, back up to this. I put this thing on a dyno right after the last video. It made 402 to the wheels, which is pretty decent. I didn't expect that much out of it, but it's still got the stock rear end in it and the stock drive shaft, and the stock gear in this thing is like a 270 something or other. Anyways, after the dyno, when it would get warm, it would start, the oil pressure would drop off. It wouldn't go down to nothing, but it would drop off below what I was comfortable with. So I'm gonna pull this thing back out. I'm gonna go through it. I have a brand new oil pump I'm gonna put in it just to be safe. And while I'm in there, I'm gonna make sure that everything looks okay. But it still runs fine. It doesn't make any funny noises. Like I said, when it's warm, it just loses oil pressure. So, but we have a ton of other things. I got parts everywhere for this thing. The floor needs fixed. The fuel system needs finished. It still has one of my derby tanks in the back, just in the trunk sitting on the floor. So we're going to get a brand new tank in there, new sending unit, get that all plumbed up. I want a reliable hot rod for this coming summer. It's cold out now, snow on the ground, so it's not going anywhere. Might as well tear it apart. Might as well fix it the right way. Hopefully it's just something simple. If you guys have any recommendations on what you think it could be, just let me know. What else has been done since you guys have seen it last? Oh, I did get some wheels. I got the IROC Z wheels. I'm not completely sold on them yet. So, also the transmission's not in it right now. It had a grind going into third, so I pulled that out and I'm getting it rebuilt. Get the synchronizers changed out in it. What else? Oh, I can show you the hole in the floor. So why we need a floor patch. I ordered a brand new floor patch from Classic Industries. But yeah, the rear floor, it looks bad, but if you know anything about these cars, usually under the seat is just gone and the leaf spring will actually come up through the floor. But that is all good. There's a hole here and a small hole here. They're not terrible, but all of the structure, what do you call them? The floor braces and everything that the frame mounts to is all still good, so we don't have to worry too much about it. We're just gonna put some patches in there. We're gonna cut all this out and replace that. But other than that, everything else is pretty solid. I think there's a small hole on the driver's side too, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because I wanna get this out. That way, if I need to order anything or completely rebuild it or whatever, while I'm waiting on parts for that, I can get in there and fix the floor. I ordered new carpet for it, so this thing, after this, I will have almost touched every bolt on it. Oh, I did get a different rear end too. It's a posi unit with I think it's a 373 gear, but it's from a Nova, and they're a little bit narrower than the Camaro. So we're gonna have to cut the mounts, make our own mount, well, not make our own mounts, get different leaf spring perches, put those on there. And I'm debating on ordering a lowering kit for it. I think it would look way better dropped, because the wheel gap on this thing is obnoxious, and it's always sat nose high. And I'm just assuming, well, I don't assume, I know, this is way lighter than the old small block that was in it. And the transmission, I can pick up a T5 almost with one hand. So it's almost on the bump stops all the way up. So we're gonna lower it, get it sitting level and looking way better. And like I said, I'm not completely sold on these wheels just yet, but they're growing on me. But yeah, let's get into draining fluids and pulling this back out for the, what, third time now? Hopefully it's something simple, so let's get into doing that. up on stands. Let's see how big of a mess that we can make. Draining all this coolant out of here. I just don't understand my my luck with these motors. I mean, I don't run them nowhere near as hard as most people do, but seems that I have the worst. I better slide that a little more. The worst luck with them. Oh yeah, we got most of it. That's a plus. Yeah. Take this off. Oh, yeah. It was almost perfect. All right, we'll let that dribble. Might put the jack under the pan and tilt this thing up. Get most of it out that we can. Let me do that. Don't you know you shouldn't jack it up on the oil pan? Yeah, I know. I'm sure you'll tell me about it. All right. We'll let that drain out for a bit. And get this upper hose out of here. But yeah, if you guys, I've heard people talk about, ow, there is a dumbbell or something in the, it's behind the cover on the back of the motor that holds the rear main seal. People say, oh, you should change that, you should change that. Well, I have one of those ordered. I just, like I said, it's not losing all of its oil pressure. It's probably 15 pounds lower than what it was. And I don't like that, so. And it has a mechanical style gauge on it, the old school style. So, I don't know. Probably pulling it out for nothing, to be completely honest. It's probably just fine. You gotta loosen up this alternator a little bit. It squeezes. It's real close right here. Let's see. I think it's I'm also looking for another project, something else to keep me occupied when it's cold. I hate being bored, so we will keep at this until it's done, or until we get something else. This little tensioner here from ICT, it's pretty fancy. Oh. Oh, easy. Loosen that up. Get some pressure off. Like I said, it's real close in here. But this is ICT's full kit. Maybe it's supposed to be ran with the car style alternator. Or not, sorry, not alternator. The water pump, because the water pump on a car, the car style water pump, it comes straight out. So it wouldn't be as close there. All right, that's off of there. Should be able to get that clamp loose now. Oh yeah, she'll loosen up now. All right, well, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through all this. You've seen it once. I'll throw that on time lapse and just keep unhooking everything. Get this thing pulled out. Alright, so we got just about everything unhooked. Just took the power steering and bungeed it up over there instead of unhooking all that crap. But there's something I did notice. These are, that plate and that plate, they're supposed to be more straight. This is the motor mount. That thing is bent uphill at the end of it, and those plates are rocked back. It's like that on both sides. I'd show you the other side, but it's a little hard to see. The header's still on. You gotta take this one off to get it out. But I don't know about that. I have to replace those. Well, obviously I'm going to, but not sure what would bend that. I know that just laying the motor back against the firewall wouldn't do that, but those are definitely bent. But we got our pile of goodies over here. Just took the harness off and tucked it up underneath the windshield wiper. This header, it can stay on. It'll clear when it comes out. But yeah, we'll get the sketchy cherry picker drug out, get it hooked up, and get this thing pulled out. Kyle's supposed to be on his way to help me get it. That cherry picker, it's a little sketchy. It's a two-person operation, but we'll get that hooked up and get this thing out of here. It can't be metal shavings. This stuff gonna look brand new.
Huh?
It's gonna look brand new, you bet.
Yeah, I hope it is. What's that? What was it, 50? That thing sounds quality.
You got rubber on her. It's gonna be bad. Look, brand new. I can still see through it. What does that mean?
What?
It's got good oil. Clean oil.
I can take 2 guesses.
Well, how's it losing oil pressure? If there's nothing in the bearing, if there's no bearings down here, we don't have the drip panel bearings, is what I'm trying to say. They're not in the pan. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled the pan off. I didn't see anything at first. I mean, there's some sludge or whatever in here. But what I'm assuming, assuming what this is this motor obviously came out of a truck, and the oil in it was black. So what I'm going to assume is this, you see where it's clean here and dark here, this sits in there like that. There's dark here and dark here, but it's still clean. This is, I'm going to say it's the sludge that washed out of this block from the new oil being in it. Like, it's not gritty or anything, so that all seems fine. So I took this out. I wanted to look down in here Once again, there's just normal black in there. But then I did this. You see that? Okay. So I was wondering where that came from. The oil pickup. So what I'm assuming is going on is that is hanging down because somebody forgot to tighten the bolt up, because I had to put this pickup tube on to fit this pan. I didn't touch anything else in the bottom end. It's all still stock from the truck it came out of. So I'm gonna put that in. Obviously, it didn't get tightened down. That bolt fell out, or the nut fell out. That dropped down, and this is so close to the bottom of the pan that it's not getting the right amount of oil pressure. So, like I said, there's no shavings. Everything looks fine. There's just the sludge on there from what was in this block. So, regardless, I think I'm going to go ahead and put this oil pump in here, clean out the pickup tube, clean the pan out again, put it all back together, and put it right back in. Like I said, it ran fine. It just had lower oil pressure, so I'm gonna say that's the problem. So we're gonna clean it up, put the new pump in it, and just put it back in. And then when the trans comes back, I'll put that in when it shows up. Yeah. I'm gonna clean up in here a little bit. I have the delete plate that goes here so I can have heat again, because I really want to do power tour, and I know it's in the summer, but in the mornings it'd be nice to be able to have heat, so that way you can clear the window off. I want to get the wipers going, and a problem with that is not that one, this one. These three used to look like this one, and they fell and was laying on the exhaust and melted. So there's some things I want to get cleaned up in here. Probably going to repaint it again so it looks good. We get this back together. I do have to wait for the dumbbell to show up. I think that's what it's called. That's what I was told it was called. So get this cleaned up, back together. Fresh oil in it again. Put it back in. All right. All right. What's going on, guys? It's the next day here. Like I was saying yesterday, we're gonna go ahead and change out this oil pump. Might as well while I got it apart. Last night I just went ahead and stuck the oil pan back on so I could sit on the ground. I didn't want to trust the cherry picker all night. But I'm gonna have to get the crank pulley off, which is a nightmare. Get everything else off the front, and get this new pump on here. So let's get that done. All right. Unfortunately, everything has to come off the front of this. As long as I can remember how this stuff goes back together. Yep, I should be all right. Let's see how that goes. I took a couple pictures, so. Gonna put this thing on a stand, but my stand's over there with another motor on it. I'm gonna try to keep most of this as assembled as possible. So many different spacers and everything else holding this thing on here. It's probably gonna leak everywhere. All right. That feels like it's about to twist off in the block. Definitely about to snap off. That is not ideal. Man. Well, it's got to come off, so. Don't tell me two of them are going to do it. Man. Why? Build a hot rod, they said. Come on. Oh. Ding, ding. Why? Just busting my knuckles. Just remember, it's always a 2-minute job until a bolt snaps off. We're gonna save this one. That one over there, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna snap off. You think only 2 bolts will seal it? One can hope, one can hope. All right. Maybe let's run it in a little bit. No. Yeah, that's gonna snap. Oh, God. Stop. It's loose. It's not like it's stuck in the aluminum. Well, might as well. Come on. Great. It's never easy. That is not going to be fun to get out. But I guess it's better here than on the side of the road. Why am I using this? Now that's your ratchet right here. snapped off flush too. Well, it snapped off flush. Not sure why. That was just put in there, what, 4 months ago? 5 months ago? It's got maybe 50 miles worth of runtime. Oh well, keep moving forward. Crank pulley, puller, pull that off. Timing cover. Then we'll change the oil pump. Alright, so I went ahead and jumped ahead here, but I got the new oil pump on. Here's the old one. It seems fine, didn't feel tight or anything, but I cleaned out the pickup tube, put it back on, changed the O-ring. I pre-lubed the oil pump, shimmed it. I seen someone say to take this plug out here and put oil in this way, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to be 100% sure that this isn't my issue. But I know for a fact that the pickup tube laying in the bottom of the pan was not good for it. So, but yeah, we are back to putting it back together. I'm gonna have to go pick up my welder to be able to get that bolt out that I snapped off. But we'll get this out. I don't have to worry about that. I believe I have other bolts, so I'm gonna clean the pan out, clean that sludge out that dripped in there, get the timing cover back on. Just keep on plugging away. I'd like to have this thing set back in there, but like I said, I gotta wait for the dumbbell to show up that goes in the back of the block. But also, I don't have the trans right now, so I could do it while it's in the car, because I'd really like to get this back in there and off of this cherry picker. But let's see how far we make it today. Regardless, I'm gonna get this stud out of here and get it all back together. That way it's ready to go back in, whether I decide to or not, I'm not sure yet. But regardless, just keep plugging away. That's all we can do. And I'm gonna get the pan and stuff cleaned up, and then get it back together, get that bolt out of there, and be ready to put it back in. Alright, so as you guys seen, Kyle showed up. We ended up going and getting the welder and pretty much just knocked it out. You guys seen it come out, and wasn't no sense in talking you through going it back in. The bolt gave me a little trouble. Took what, 7 times or so, but I did end up getting it out. But everything's back in the way it was. I did clean up the wiring a little bit, and I pulled the wiring for the blower motor and stuff back out of the firewall. I just tucked it back in so I could hide it, because I did order the plate, like I said, to get the heat working. But I think I'm gonna go pick up the transmission and get that put back in there. That way it's at least mobile, and then I'm gonna take it outside and let it run. Make sure we got oil pressure when it's warm. We had oil pressure before, but like I said, it would just get low when it was warmer. It ran 15 psi lower than what it did when I first got it together. And like I said, the that pickup tube being on the bottom of the pan was definitely not good, so hopefully that fixed it. The dumbbell thing for the oil galley plug should be in tomorrow. I'm gonna go pick up the trans, and I just gotta drop the flywheel off the back. Put that in, I'll change the rear main while I'm in there, put the trans in, and then we can fire it up, take it outside, let it run, let it get warm, and hopefully it's fixed. Like I said, I have a ton of other stuff I still got to do with this thing. I got boxes everywhere for it. So after this, I think I'm going to either do the fuel system in another video, or it'll be fixing the floors in another video. I guess it depends on whatever parts show up first. Most of the fuel system is here, as you can see, the new tank. But all right, I'll be back tomorrow and hopefully get this thing running, make sure we fixed it. All right, so it's the next day again. We did end up going, well, I went and picked up the transmission. The plan for today is I'm just gonna get that back in. I know I should have waited one day, but impatient me. So gotta get that under there, wrestle it on the bell housing, because I didn't want to unhook the clutch line because I didn't want to have to bleed it again. So I'm going to try to wrestle that under the car, get that together, then put it all up as one. But it's probably going to be me taking the line loose and putting the bell housing on out here, then putting it all up in. But I don't know how much that I'm going to show you because it's up underneath the car and I don't have a lift. Maybe one day, but all right. I'm gonna crawl underneath there, get that done, and see how that goes. All right, well, that's up in there. Phone a friend, it's a lot easier. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for this video. The only reason is I'm still waiting on parts, and I have neighbors, like I'm connected to my neighbor's house. So I would really like to get the exhaust on here before I just start this thing up and let it be obnoxious. So in the next video, we will be starting it, but I'm gonna get the fuel tank in and finish the exhaust. It's gonna be all the way out the back this time. So other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, all the stuff. Tell me what else you'd like to see with this thing. But I will definitely be back. Like I said, I've got a bunch of parts, big plans, and I want to make power tour with it. And I'm in the process of looking for another project. So once this is done, it will not be the end. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.